Welcome to the show. Once again, we have a fabulous lineup of guests to energize and inspire you.
It's time to wake up your wow with your host, international award-winning speaker, Cath Vincent.
On the show, from music icon to TV channel owner, Face TV's Gerard Smith. Katrina Cole on how to book your ticket to space. Taking your message to the world, Eugene Moreau on the trend of self-publishing.
Hold me close and say my name, Davy Green.
And in the Wilde Records music slot with Jesse Wilde, we hear original music from Red Light Runners. All this and more to wake up your wow. Gerard, welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Now listen, you are iconic in your own right as a TV host of The Beat Goes On.
Yes, I am, yes.
And that has been running forever,
I was
hasn't it?
trying to think of I'm a legend in my own lunchtime.
Well, nearly lunchtime.
Yeah.
And that show's been running for forever, hasn't it?
9 years, 367 episodes, 1 hour episodes.
Wow.
That's how long.
That's a lot of content.
So we're heading for 400 shows.
Wow, and you just pump it out week after week after week.
Week after week. It's a labour of love.
Wow, and so you film all year round?
Yeah.
I don't know how you do
that. Oh, no,
that.
we have 7 weeks off at Christmas time.
Oh, you do? Oh, well, that's good then. And but of course, you also are famous for being a pop star.
Pop singer, yeah.
So tell me about that.
They were great days.
So the band
Let's
was
go
the Roots.
way back to 1971. Can you go back that far?
Yeah.
Long before you were born?
I want to say no, but the answer is yes.
Long before you were born, the group that I was in was called The Rumour.
Yeah.
There was a program called Studio One. This is back in the days when there was only one television station.
Yeah.
It was black and white. And our group, The Rumour, won this, your equivalent would be New Zealand Idol.
Yeah.
So we won New Zealand Idol, the equivalent of it, back in 1971, one television station, and the whole country saw you. Today, if you have New Zealand Idol, you've got 50 to 60, 70 channels competing against you, you see.
That would have been huge in the day.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
I'll have to get your autograph before you leave. Here.
Yes, I'll give you 2.
And then, and tell me a bit about what happened after that. So, you were something of a darling of New Zealand, weren't you?
I'm not sure what happened after that. Well, after that, of course, I went into broadcasting. I was a radio announcer for about 5 years.
Yeah. You've got a good voice for
1ZB
radio.
and all those different places. And then I got into video production, making corporate videos. That was the big thing, around about 86, 87.
Yeah, because that was all new and upcoming then, wasn't it?
And then one day, there was a station called Triangle Television in Auckland that used to advertise. It said, make your own show. And I thought, yeah, I could do that because I was an editor, you see, so I could make my own show.
Tell us a bit more about the kind of people you interview on The Beat Goes On.
What I felt all those years ago when I started my own show was that the baby boomer generation, which was sort of born between 1946 and 1960, or 64 according to the Americans, was slowly being pushed aside as a generation, as the next generation comes through. Nothing wrong with that, that's the way it is. And I said that at the time, wouldn't it be great if we could have an hour devoted to the baby boomer?
Yeah.
So that great generation, the music, the Beatles, everything about that generation, the rebelliousness and all that, could we reflect, rake the embers of that once great generation every week? And that was what we set out to do. So first thing when somebody comes on the program, I always say to them, and when did you come onto this wonderful world? And we work out their baby boomerhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So taking on a TV station, though, must have been kind of huge.
that was wonderful.
Like, did you even know how to do that?
Of course not. No, well, it's a TV station, and it's like a beast that you've got to feed. It's got to have programs every day. It's got to, all the things
3 walks a day.
No, I love it. It's wonderful to have a television station. Yeah.
So tell me a bit about, because it's changed a lot over the years, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. Well, it started off as Triangle, and it was just in the Auckland area for many years, and then it went on to Freeview, and then it had a break, and then it was back on Sky. And they renamed it Face TV. That's before I took it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really blossoming now.
Oh, look, we're so happy. Recently, John Campbell came on board.
That's
and,
huge.
He's with Radio New Zealand, but we take his program at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Fantastic to have John Campbell, who was one of the best broadcasters in New Zealand, on Face TV.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that must have been a really good score.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And where are you going with Face TV now?
Bigger and better. That's what's going to happen. We've got great plans for Face TV. More and more programs coming on board. And of course, the online. One day it'll be a streaming service, but our on-demand is getting very good. So, well.
And actually, I mean, this is a bit of a trip down memory lane for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, of course, we did a little bit of TV together.
And one day, while I was doing the show, in walks Cath Vincent. And then, that's where we met.
And that's where it started. I mean, you were the one saying, oh, well, let's make a show.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yes, I said to you that day, why don't you have your own show?
Yeah, I thought you were serious. Yeah. Well, listen, it is fabulous having you here today.
Yes, thank you very much.
And I'm so excited about how many shows that you pumped out, and I hope that one day we catch you up, you know.
Well, you couldn't you?
I'd have to sprint a bit, wouldn't I?
Yeah, so how many shows have you done now? So,
oh, well, we're in the third season, so we've done about, what have we done, 26. This is the 25th.
25th.
Yeah.
367.
Yeah,
winning.
I'm working on it.
I'm doing President Trump. Winning.
Yeah, you say stuff like that, I'm going to build a wall. Gerard, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Kath. Great.
Next up, fasten your seatbelts for your trip to space. Katrina, welcome.
Thank you.
So you are a space travel agent. Like, how cool is that?
It's very cool. It's very cool. I'm a normal travel agent as well as a space travel agent.
Yeah, but people can actually book a trip to space now.
Yes, they can, and they've been able to do that for a few years. So House of Travel have got the licence in New Zealand, and there's a few of us that have been handpicked to sell space flights. So a few years back, I got invited to a meeting where they said, this is the concept, this is what we're looking at this was the Virgin Galactic people, and it was way down the track. They'd obviously at that stage put a lot of thought into it, a lot of research and development had gone into it, and a lot of money.
Wow. So, I mean, when are flights going to space?
Oh, look, I wish I could give you a date. There was a mishap a couple of years ago, which has been highly publicised, and they did lose their spaceship, and that was due to pilot error. And unfortunately, it's set it back a couple of years. But it actually hasn't hindered the passion, and especially our astronauts. They are so behind this. They knew it was research and development all the way, and it's very unfortunate that a pilot had to die in the crash, but, it is very revolutionary what they're actually trying to achieve.
Yeah, totally. So if you were going to book a trip to space, honestly, it's messing with my mind. So how much would it even cost to buy your ticket?
Okay, so the one thing that everyone seems to focus on, they think it's for the wealthy, and it's definitely not. Yeah. It's US $250,000, and there is one New Zealand astronaut who's mortgaged his house to go on this trip.
You actually said that really quickly.
Yeah.
I think 250,000, just not much, but...
But, compared to what the options were, 10 years ago, there were millions of dollars to go on Russian space, and, it's one person. This is commercial flights, so Richard Branson's really looking forward to having some competition, and for space being affordable for everybody. So this isn't just a one-off for the wealthy.
Yeah. So. Gosh, 250,000, let me see. I mean, Fiji's gotten really expensive, so,
It's a lot of trips to Fiji. But I guess the one thing that these people have always, the guys that I've been dealing with, and they're a really entrepreneurial bunch.
I imagine.
Really diverse, and they all knew that in their lifetime they wanted to go into space.
Yeah.
So it's a real passion for them, as well as being something that they want to be on the frontier of something just amazing.
Yeah, those early adopters. I mean, if you look back at very ordinary things that seem ordinary now, like I remember, the first time someone got a mobile phone, and I was thinking, what's the point of that, really?
Yeah.
And now, obviously, we wouldn't be without them.
Yeah. So, being on the frontier of something quite cutting edge has been really, really exciting, and really exciting for our astronauts. Yeah. Got to meet Sir Richard Branson, so that was really cool.
Go you!
Yeah, kiss the sheet.
I haven't washed it since.
Yeah, but he's, talking to him, he's a very ordinary man, actually, when you meet him.
Yeah.
But he's not ordinary up there.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and it's really. I think it's just really cool to be involved in something that is so revolutionary, and the experience for the astronauts has been, they're a community of only 700 that have paid so far, and they'll be...
That's quite a lot.
That is a lot, worldwide.
700 people worldwide have paid to fly to space.
Aged between 10 and 90, so a really diverse group of people.
Wow.
And they get a lot of privileges belonging to this small group.
And will we all be going to space for our holidays in the future?
If you talk to Sir Richard Branson, absolutely. He's looking at building space hotels, which I know sounds really bizarre. The thought of actually going into space full stop probably sounded bizarre even a few years ago. Yeah. But it is a reality, and it's a reality very soon. Unfortunately, Sir Richard gets up at events and says, "Oh, next year we'll be going into space," and I'm sure his PR people just die a little bit inside. Yeah, but if it hadn't been for 2014. There would have been people in space, and I would have gone up to there's actually Spaceport America that's already been built.
You're going?
I'm going up to look at one of my astronauts go up. Absolutely. I want to be there, not for the ride as such, but I can't afford the US $250,000 at this stage, but I would love the opportunity to go at some stage in my life. And I'd love to go and just the whole build-up and the experience. These astronauts, or future astronauts they're called, they have 3 days of training. And just to...
Three?
Yeah, and three... I know it doesn't sound a lot, but they're not actually flying the plane.
No,
so it's really to get them used to the G-forces. Mm-hmm. And a couple of them have already gone up and done centrifuge training in the States. So they've got a bit of a feel about how their bodies are going to take the G-forces, because that's going to be quite big. You don't want to be blacking out and missing... what is only essentially
what happened?
Yeah, a 2 to 2.5 hour journey.
I was going to ask you, 2.5 hours, yeah.
And, from woe to go. So, if you don't know the concept, it's really good to have a look at, there's an animated video of what it looks like on virgingalactic.com. But it's a rocket ship that's attached to it's like a catamaran, a twin-hulled plane, and it goes up to 50,000 feet.
Oh, it's like this.
It's like this, yeah.
I didn't even notice that appear on our table. Let's have a look. Ooh. Sorry, I've just crashed.
It's right. Just grab that.
I'll just not crash it anymore.
It's right. So it's a double-hulled, piloted flight, and this is the rocket. So it goes up to 50,000 feet, and if you know about normal aviation, most people, or most jets these days, fly at about 36,000 feet. Yeah. And then this drops, and the rocket at the back, which is a heavily guarded secret, ignites, and it takes you into 110 miles into space, and 100 miles is the actual version of space. The pilots will experience 3 to 4 minutes of weightlessness.
Oh,
which will be really cool.
Which
will be amazing. And then they've got to try and get back into their seat. That might not be so amazing, but they will be all trained on this. So it's not going to be something that's going to be a surprise for them, and they all know what they've signed up for. Yeah. And then they'll get back into these seats. And the unique feature of the spaceship is these feathering. These are actually feathered wings, and they come up so that the re-entry back into Earth's atmosphere, which is where they'll experience the most G-forces, will actually be quite smooth and not so hard on the body, because that's really where the G-forces will come into play.
Right. And but then, listen, when you arrive in space, what do you do?
It's literally, you see the curvature of the Earth, 1,600 miles curvature of the Earth. Yeah. It's going to be an experience that they'll only be in space for such a short time. Yeah. Then they'll experience the weightlessness and then come back into Earth.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, book me in.
Yeah.
No, joke.
Absolutely. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So, they want to be... they're absolutely fizzing to go. Yeah. So it couldn't come sooner. Couldn't come sooner for me either.
Well, great. Bring it on, bring it on. Yeah. And congratulations on all the work you're doing, booking people into space.
I know. Who would have thought?
Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Now, if you've been watching the show, you know that I'm rather hastily committed to write a book in 30 days. In fact, I'm going to dictate it using Dragon software. Now, the exciting thing is, if you've always wanted to write a book, you can join our Facebook and get all the support you need from everyone else who is also committed to writing their book. You know you want to. Give it a go.
Next up, get your word read, heard and seen.
Eugene, welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, it's great to be here, Kath. Thanks for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
So listen, you run a company that's dedicated to self-publishing, not a publishing company, but a company that helps other people publish their own material.
That's right.
So tell me, how does that work? What's the distinction between traditional publishing and self-publishing?
Well, there's several nuances. You have independent publishing, self-publishing, and then traditional publishing. And we're more in line with the independent publisher.
Right.
So we help professionals like myself, like you, like millions of other coaches and consultants. We help them express themselves. We help them get their voice, their authority out.
Yeah.
And we do that through turning their IP into actual words in a published document.
Right. And so this is based on the idea that everybody has good ideas up there that, perhaps they aren't leveraging.
I think if you've been in consulting or coaching, you've been in marketing, you've been a public speaker, you've been involved in business as a business owner or a leader in business for a number of years, you've developed a particular set of knowledge and ideas and concepts and methodologies. And inside of that set of knowledge, you're going to find that there are transferable principles that others can learn. So, for example, following Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour concept.
So this is the concept that in order to get good at something, you have to repeat until you've got 10,000 hours of experience.
You become very efficient and very effective when you've applied yourself and the hours have gone into it, and then you do it without thinking. It's called non-intellectual processing. You do it without thinking.
Yeah.
And as a result of doing it without thinking, it becomes your second nature. It becomes something you just do.
Yeah, and we all have that. We all have stuff we're good at, and we hardly even realise because it's just what we do.
Well, I began coaching in 1990. I began working with other business leaders in 1990 on public speaking and presentation skills and pitching for business. And so over the years, I have invested my time and my experience, and I've developed my 10,000 hours. And so I started writing about it in the late 90s, and no one would entertain me as someone who was wanting to write. I had things to say. I'd run workshops, thousands of workshops, and I wanted to say something about it.
Yeah. So you started your own self-publishing company to get published.
Yeah, so I published my very first book way back in 2002 called The Public Speaker's Little Black Book.
Wow.
Self-published, had no clue what I was doing, but I just put together a PDF and started working my way through it.
Yeah.
Well, that book is still available to buy print on demand, and it still sells.
But you have been published in the traditional sense, and you've done your own self-publishing. How do the two compare?
Well, I tried to go down the traditional publishing route, but you approach the publishing houses and you don't get heard. You don't get in. You have to go through a literary agent.
Yeah.
To get with a literary agent, you have to have certain things already done because there's so many people filling their funnels full that if you don't have something really special, then you're not going to get noticed.
Yeah.
So I said, my business partner and I said, well, hang on a second. There's a lot of people we know who have really important things to say that aren't getting a chance to say them.
Yeah.
So we're going to become a partner. We're going to open a pathway to their authority. And if you are published, you have something that you can say, this is my authority. I've written a book on this.
Yeah.
And so take you, for example,
Yes, for example, because you know that I am writing a book.
You have a great message. I've heard you speak a few times. You have a great message. That message will help thousands of people.
Thank you.
But you're not able to get to thousands of people in England or Africa or the US every day. But if you write a book, then your principles of wow can impact thousands of people every day.
So why is it? Why is self-publishing growing at such a rate of knots?
It's easy to get into.
Yeah.
It's not a demanding challenge to actually have your ideas put down, and then you can e-publish, or you can go down print on demand. You don't have to go through the laborious 2-year process of traditional publishing, and you only get 5 to 7% of your return.
Yeah.
You actually, when you digitally publish, especially when you digitally publish, 75% of the sales is going to come back to you.
What would your advice be to someone they've written their book and they've got the manuscript? What next?
I would say if you've got a manuscript, you get in touch with someone like us, like an independent publisher, to guide them through the process of getting it onto Kindle, which is a challenge in itself, and through the various different e-publishing formats, and then also work out a game plan, a strategy, a sales or marketing strategy. And you're not going to be able to do it for free. If you do it on your own, you're going to burn money like I have. Because I didn't know what to do. I knew I wanted to have something and say, but I didn't know how to market it properly.
So, I mean, is there going to come a day where people are no longer reading physical books?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, they've been around for thousands of years, all right? I've got over 1,000 books in my personal library, but I've also got close to 400 audio books. And I don't know how many PDFs that are in my file. So, but traditional books, physical books will always kind of be here, I believe, for at least in my lifetime, in our lifetime. Having said that, it is a trend where physical books is trending down, mainly because the number of closures of bookstores. All right, and ebooks and published e-publishing is going up because Amazon is such a huge, massive beast. And it's just devouring a number of other outlets. But you can also have publishing. You can also have physical books on Amazon now. So there is that growth. Will it ever be gone? No. Will ebooks continue to rise? Yes. We're a digital age. It's not ever going to stop.
Absolutely. And what about audiobooks? Would you lump those together with digital product?
When you have a digital product, turning it into an audio, a visual, an online learning experience. This is where training is going. All training is going to be much more effective if you have an audio product, if you have a digital product. Because a lot of people can't take out 2 days and go to a training workshop or 3 hours to go to a seminar. What they can do is they can buy it online and they can get the digital book, they can get the audio program, and they can even get the video program, all on a server somewhere, and they can learn that way. So if you're a coach or a consultant or a trainer or a marketer or a business owner, and you want to really get your information from you to your audience, to your target market, put it on a digital publishing format. And it works.
And what you're really talking about is taking it in one format, taking the knowledge that you have one time and leveraging it multiple times.
There are up to 17 different ways that you can actually leverage your content, your data, all the way from a blog right through to a full-blown digital program.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to take my book and do all that.
And I'm looking forward to reading it, watching it, and hearing it.
Fabulous. Thanks, Eugene.
Next up, the Wilde Records music slot with Jessie Wilde.
Jessie Wilde, welcome back. Good to see you.
Great to be here.
What you been up to?
Mate, I've been doing a few gigs lately.
Yep.
How about yourself?
No gigs for me.
Yeah, we did a gig in the weekend at Albert Park, and it was for Trade Aid and Fair Trade.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good cause, and we actually broke a world record.
You did? Doing what? The most number of songs?
It's a pretty cool world record. It was Dancing with Bananas.
Say what?
Yeah, I know. And the previous record was none. So it was the most people dancing with bananas, and I was involved playing the music, doing the sound.
Okay, so you weren't dancing with a banana.
To be honest,
you're too cool for that, aren't you?
I didn't want to dance with the bananas, but I helped out with the sound. That was a great cause.
Yeah.
And I played for an hour or so, and we had some really great musicians there.
Cool. Okay. And speaking of great musicians, who's on the show today?
We have a great musician named Davy Mack.
Tell me more.
Well, I met Davy at a gig for the Glocks. Remember the Glocks, and some of them played on our show a couple of seasons ago?
Yeah.
And we were at a gig and watching the Glocks, and Davy was playing support.
You must always be at gigs. You're either playing gigs or you're out scouting for talent.
It's just a great. I mean, I love music, so it's great to go to gigs. You meet people, and I noticed Davy's got these really cool tattoos, guitar tattoos, and he looks like a long-haired rock and roller type. So we started talking, and of course he was playing support. And I mentioned we have a studio and a TV show, and one thing led to another, and here he is.
And he's here today. Let's hear from Davy.
Let's do it.
sense to feeling love, and all the words they weren't enough. And I get sick to freeze tonight. Hold me close and say my name, and all the things you want from me. Makes it really hard to breathe. Cry freedom, 'cause I don't wanna cry no more. Hold me close and say my name. As I sit, the doctor speaks. Mama's barking next to me. Hold my hand, you'll be alright. Son, you have to be alright. Waiting for the mortal blow. As we switch to cruise control, oh, doctor said you're in the grave. I said I don't mind to stay that way. Hold me close and say my name, Davy Green. As I sit, the doctor speaks. Mama's barking next to me. Hold my hand, you'll be alright. Son, you have to be alright. Waiting for the mortal blow. And as we switch to cruise control, oh, doctor said you're in the grave. I said I don't mind to stay that way. Hold me close and say my name one more time tonight. I'd like to fight, and all the things you throw around when I disagree. 'Cause I don't wanna fight no more. Hold me close and say my name. I don't wanna cry no more. Hold me close and say my name, Davy Green. Davy Green. Davy Green. Davy Green. No sense to feeling love, and all the words they weren't enough. And I got sick to freeze tonight. Hold me close and say my name.
Yeah. Good work, Brian. Good stuff, man. Grab a seat.
That was awesome. That was so good. What an intriguing song.
Oh gosh, yes.
Am I right? Tell me what it's about.
It is a big song with a big story, cutting it very short. Some dude tried to tell me I had a neurological disorder, and it pretty much shut me down for about a year.
Whoa.
It ended my contact sport racing. It ended
When
my
you
stunt
say
work.
some dude, do you mean a doctor?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So someone diagnosed you.
And it ended a lot of things for me. So I was a race car driver for a long time, and I used to be a stunt driver. That was no longer part of my life anymore because of what was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, a year later, I went to see him for the last time, and he said, we have enough evidence to suggest that it is, but we don't have enough evidence to say that it is. So as far as we're concerned, you're in the grey area. And I looked at him and I went, yeah, I'm sweet with the grey area, dude. Mum, we gotta go. Jumped in my Falcon and gunned it home like about 160 kilometres an hour. My mum didn't say a word to me because she probably didn't think that was a good time to talk to me. And when she left, I wrote that song in about 20 minutes.
Right.
Hence the title, Dr. Grey.
Dr. Grey, yeah.
In the grey.
So tell me about the stunt driving thing. Like you've won awards and all sorts of stuff, haven't you?
Not so much awards, more like we did a lot of arena shows. So we're doing like Kumeu Classic Car Show and Smash Fest, and we were doing feature film work and music videos and stuff like that. So we're doing a lot of cars, a lot of big bombs. Like I would have like the size of an iPod Nano and had like 9 buttons on it, and every single button was on a cannon would go off.
Oh.
And it just felt like all this power was coming out of your thumb.
A lot of pyrotechnics.
Yeah, like holy bejeebers.
Cool. So the first night we met at the Backbeat Bar, you were playing in a band called the Red Lake Runners, and Stephen was playing bass. That's right. Tell us a bit about that band.
Stephen and myself have been together for just coming up 2 years now. We've just recently lost our drummer, so we're currently looking for a new drummer.
Cool. So you're just a 3-piece, weren't you?
Just a 3-piece, yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Well, we were ready to...
Big sound for a 3-piece, though.
Pretty big sound for a 3-piece. Go Mesa Boogie, right?
Absolutely. Gotta love it.
So yeah, we're currently looking for a new drummer to fill that spot, and just carry on. Yeah, we just want to play, just perform, keep writing, You sort of put everything on the line when you're a writing, recording artist. You know, you want sort of get that feeling across. So, yeah.
Cool. So how do they get into contact with you? If there's a drummer out there, how do they get in contact with you?
I've put an ad up on the Rock Shop forum.
Cool.
From RLR or Red Light Runners wanted drummer.
Cool.
There's also ads on New Zealand Musician on the Facebook.
Great.
As well as Facebook / Red Light Runners NZ.
So now there's an ad on the Cath Vincent Show. Davy Mack is looking for a drummer.
Oh,
Call us.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Hey, listen, thanks so much for coming in.
Cool, thanks for having me.
My thanks to all my special guests, to Eugene, to Katrina, to Gerard, to Davy and Stephen, and of course our very own Jessie Wilde. And until next week, don't wait to wake up your wow. Okay. So rewind.